So, amongst all the excitement and everything going on with the Rippaverse, we find out that Yaira number 2 is being launched on the 9th. That is tomorrow. Hopefully, Lord willing, I get to order my copy and that goes without a hitch. Even if there is problems, I really don't mind. I appreciate the fact that not only me, but seems like all of the fans are excited about what's going on. But that's not my topic of discussion today. My topic of discussion today is Norfrica. Now, Norfrica was introduced at the end of ISOM number 1. You really didn't get a clue or have an idea of who these people were, what exactly was going on. You might have had some kind of clue. I think Yaira number 1 opened the doors of the potentiality of what Norfrica means. And if you've read Yaira number 1, I believe you know what I'm talking about. And I believe it lends or pulls from Norse mythology. So we're going to get into this YouTube video that came from the Rippaveal showcase where they dive into the Norfrica book that's coming. This has been one of the teams that I'm actually excited for because I think this will be one of those books that bridge the gap of different things that happen that you didn't realize how they were connected or why they were connected. So let's get into this Norfrica showcase.
We must assess the situation. Alerting the others is not required. I would not suggest.
He said, alerting the others. What others is he speaking of?
Such a thing, as it would send this realm into chaos.
So obviously, clearly, he mentioned realm. So they come from another realm and they're in this realm. My guess is that they are from the same place Yaira is from, or maybe closely related. This is kind of what I'm thinking. And maybe the events of Yaira number 1 is what spawns what we have going on here. That's just my initial thoughts.
I do suppose if they are here, our run will assist us in nailing down their exact whereabouts. It has been a very long time since.
Or maybe even the events that happen at the end of ISOM number 2. Maybe that's how this is related. Maybe Norfrica is like somehow protectors of the realm, something to that effect. I don't know.
We've had a reason to get involved in the affairs of Earth. If it is time, they will soon find out.
I am super
Our
curious.
lyrics are not make-believe.
This so the excitement around this book, I think, is probably underestimated. I'm not saying necessarily by the Rippaverse, but maybe by some fans who maybe don't realize how much people really have been excited about. Look, I've been following the Rippaverse from the beginning, and people have constantly been asking in different fan chats and in the comment sections of different videos, where is the Norfrica book? People really want to see this. And I think this book is going to do gangbusters. I really believe it is. I think it's going to do well. I believe that cover might have been done by Kanan White. That cover right there looks like his
So
art.
I introduced Norfrica in ISOM number 1, and since then, like every comment in any video that we do,
Yep, just like I
when's
said.
Norfrica comment?
Yeah, and it's funny, right? It's always I don't know if this is how it was for Eric, but I remember he mentioned that he didn't really expect Yaira to take off like she did. And maybe the same thing happened with Norfrica. I think this is just my estimation. I think when he launched the Rippaverse, he had ideas for a lot of characters, and he said to himself, "Okay, I'm just gonna launch these characters, put them out there as ideas, see what people gravitate toward, and see if this is something that people actually want." And I think people actually want Norfrica a lot.
When are they going to show up? And that's awesome because they were some of the first few characters that I actually created before you guys had ever even heard about the Rippaverse, and they have a very specific purpose within the.
Yo, and the to have a creative mind, even if it wasn't fully thought through, to create this universe, create these characters and bring them, like involve them in this first book, like that's intentional. There's a lot of intentionality behind that, and I got to respect that creative mind to be able to go the distance and create something like that. Whatever you think of it, again, that's not the point. Being able to do that, it's not easy. It is not easy at all.
The Rippaverse. Again, if you read the end of Ice Sum #1, they're not just there at random. You know, they're in this touring band, and you're left to think, why did this touring band have these gods or godlike beings that are a part of it? Takari and Valadan, they have a very, very specific like purpose, right? And
Are they
not
magicians?
just that, we've left nuggets along the way. If you've read any really of the stories within the Rippaverse, and so we knew that we needed to come out swinging when we did eventually end up giving them.
I'm definitely
either
ready for
in
it.
a limited series or this sort of ongoing, because again, like I said, they do have a specific purpose. They just weren't random characters that we threw in. We have certain elements of the story.
So something I like the fact that he doesn't assume fans are gonna like all of these characters. So I think there's never an assumption that, okay, this is definitely getting an ongoing series. Because why carry a book that people aren't interested in? It might be a character that people like within the framework of another story, but maybe not on their own. So I kind of like that method. You launch the book is good, people gravitate toward it, and they want to see more, then you go with an ongoing series. I like it.
That we're telling that they absolutely need to fulfill, but the demand is there, so we got to kind of keep things going. It's no secret that I'm a metal guy. I'm in a metal band, been in several others before, backwards the one that I am in right now. So this is obviously something that's near and dear to me. One of the easier stories for me to tell, and you know, we're tapping into some.
Has there ever been a comic book where there was a group that was in a band? Somebody in the comments let me know if that's a thing. I don't know everything, and I'm not aware of everything. You know, my knowledge is limited, but I don't remember that being a thing. That's an interesting concept. If this is the first time this has been done, yo, kudos to him and an original idea. Look, there's so many comic books, so many stories, so many things that's already out there that I'm not going to say it's impossible to think up something completely brand new, but it's not easy because a lot of things have already been done.
History, some mythologies, different things, but a touring band, I've been there and sort of done that. So as you guys start to
Pulling from
hear
personal
that
experience,
aspect
I
of
like
the
it.
story, so you're talking about the present day or current day Rippaverse, it's going to be a fun one. Because there's lessons that I've learned along the way, some experience.
This is probably going to be a sleeper hit
with my own eyes that we're going to be able to entertain and really bring to you if you have not ever been in a metal band or a touring band or anything like that. But yeah, because we left those little nuggets in some of the previous stories that we've told within the Rippaverse and even some of the ones in the future, there's going to be a massive payoff. Now, I can't tell you guys what exactly that's going to be.
See, and I like hearing that. And I think I mentioned this in the video where I talked about what is it that the Rippaverse comic books, like what is their strategy, and what is allowing them to have such success? And I do believe it's things like this. Things are not random. They pay off at some point and in some book somewhere in the near future or maybe far off. All of these things pay off. And that is really, that's part of the excitement of comic books. That's what I like. Like, this is bringing back that excitement, not necessarily trying to take you back to days of old, but just sticking to the things that make this such a fun thing to collect.
Plays a very vital role within our universe. I first started working with Ronaldson, who will be the artist for Norfrica Glorious Death, this limited series, with like Horseman, and there's some other covers that he's done along the way. And guy is one heck of an artist.
I'm going to have to look up his other work.
Got to working with him, I was like, man, we got to get you on some sequential work. And he was hungry for that. That's what he wanted. And
and I know I keep mentioning the same things in some of these videos, but I think these are things that you really do need to pay attention to. It seems like everyone who works with the Rippaverse, despite whatever you might hear, they are excited about what's going on and they want to do more. That's always a good sign for any business.
People to see him be able to tell some of these stories as well, because they're taking place in different areas. Let's just say that.
So maybe they're in some other realms.
You needed someone that could really is really detailed with their backgrounds, things of that nature, and he really does a very phenomenal job at that. So yeah, there's lots and lots of story to tell with Norfrica, and finally, we get to tell some of those stories in Norfrica Glorious Death by myself and Ronaldson. Can't wait for you guys to read it this upcoming year, 2025.
Okay, add that to the list of books that I am definitely gonna have to buy. Norfrica is a book that I'm not going to say the first time I saw the group, I was like, oh yeah, I want to know what happened. But I was intrigued because you get to the end of ISOM #1 and you're like, okay, what does this mean? And for me, I would say until both Yaira and the end of ISOM #2, you really didn't have a clue as to where that can go and what it meant. I mean, I had my ideas, obviously. I've been reading comics for a number of years, so I had an idea, but those two books kind of gave me some paths to go down. Like, okay, I might know where you're going with this, but I'm not 100% positive, but I am definitely excited to find out.